Hello, and welcome to the very first episode of I Decided There Wasn't Enough Commentary YouTubers Out There. I'm your host, Natalie, and let's get into it. Like 15 minutes ago, the first episode of Season 7 of The Flash aired, and it was actually worse than I thought it would be. It was a bad episode, and there's a lot of reasons that it was a bad episode. So, a little, backstory about why Season 7 is so different than Season 6 of The Flash. Because it is really different, and I think it being different than every other season is really just messing with the flow of it, and the writers just don't know what to do. So, Season 6 was cut short by a couple of episodes because of COVID-19, and they couldn't finish filming it. So, instead of normally wrapping up their season like they always do, where they catch the big bad of the season and we're fine, everything's fine, we had to continue having this big bad from Season 6 into Season 7. It's either going to go two ways. It's either going to get immediately, resolved in the second episode, and we're all just going to be like, okay, cool, that was great. Or it's going to, drag on for way too long, and it's going to become really stale. So I went into watching this episode knowing that it wasn't going to be a good episode, and lo and behold, I was right. The first thing I want to note about this episode is that they gave us two clips before the episode aired, and both of them were just not good. And I thought maybe I was just judging them too harshly on these two kind of out of context clips, but no, the episode wasn't good. So the first thing that's going wrong for this season is that they've already lost one cast member, and that was Hartley Sawyer, because there was this whole drama of way back, some of his old tweets got dragged up where he was a terrible person, so he got fired off the show. So there's no more Ralph Dibny on the show because he got fired. So they're kind of writing it as, oh, he's just out of town. He's just out of town with his girlfriend. He'll come back. And also the first episode doesn't have two main cast members. I'm not gonna tell the CW how to write their show, but maybe you should try to get two of your main cast members on for the first episode of your new season. I understand conflicts and scheduling and stuff, I get that, but if two of your characters are not gonna be on there, and I don't even know if this was a scheduling error or if this was just the CW not knowing how to write. Two characters were not in this first episode, and that was Caitlin Snow and Cisco Ramon. They weren't in this episode, which immediately meant I didn't want to fucking watch it. What is the point of watching The Flash if there's no Cisco Ramon? There comes another thing about characters being in this season that I'll talk about near the end. Oh yeah, and I guess, spoilers. If you haven't seen it yet, don't watch this video. There's, two subplots and a main plot going on. One of the subplots is Cecile is trying to get Rosa, who is Top, who's the girl who can do, vertigo, trying to get her to, strike a deal so she doesn't go to prison, I guess, which I don't really know why she cares if she goes to prison or not, because, she did, kill people in the past. And then there's another subplot with Iris in the Mirrorverse where she thinks she's losing her mind, but she's not. It's just Eva, who is our big bad from Season 6, and she's just fucking with her. Iris is noticing she's touching the mirrors and they're rippling, so that's probably a hint that she's gonna get out of the Mirrorverse in episode 2. So Eva is also has this flash drive that has a video on it from her husband, who she hates because she thinks that he just didn't look for her when she disappeared into the Mirrorverse after the particle accelerator explosion. So she has this flash drive that she's just refusing to watch this video until the very end, which I'll talk about it later. It starts off with Barry in cryo freeze. I don't really know why they put him in cryo freeze. I don't know why they Winter Soldiered him. They didn't actually explain this. Eva appeared and they're oh shit, Barry, go get her, and they took him out of cryo freeze. I guess it was probably to preserve his speed, but it they didn't explain it. And also two things is that the two were characters very prominent in this episode. We have Allegra and Chester P. Funk. Is that his name? Punk? Lunk? I don't fucking know. And I'm really concerned about this character because he is a comedic relief character, but he's not funny. And he's an engineering character. So, if you're up and knowledgeable with the Flash, comedic relief character, engineer, we already have one of those. We don't need another. And the one we already have is already funny. Are they replacing Cisco with this Chester P. Runk guy? What? There's also a plotline with Nash Wells. He still has all the infinite amount of Wells in his mind, but when I say infinite amount of Wells, I mean it's just the Wells that we already know. So he's got Harry, and he's got HR, and he's got Sherlock, telling him, like, hey, this is how we can, like, make the artificial Speed Force that Barry needs so he can run faster, because Barry killed the Speed Force. He killed it in season 6, so now they have to build a new one. That's, like, another premise of the whole season, I guess. So they're like, oh yeah, well, we can, like, fuel the artificial Speed Force that we're building really easy. You just have to die. And he's like, oh, well, we're not gonna do that because I'm not fucking dying. So he's, like, looking up shit, and he's like, you know what? Maybe if we, like, get Allegra to use her weird powers that I don't fully really understand what they do, and, like, if she, like, can use me as kind of, like, a filter, we can still power up this artificial Speed Force, and I don't have to die. Well, that doesn't work, obviously, because it's the fucking Flash. So Allegra, like, tries to, like, do that, and she almost gets hit with, like, the particles, but then Barry steps in the way because he's Barry Allen. And now Barry has all the Welleses in his head. So, a good middle chunk of this episode is just Grant Gustin doing Tom Cavanaugh impressions. And it's both the funniest and cringiest thing I've ever seen in my life. I'm gonna find these clips, and I'm gonna play them.
Mes amis, we face a mystère stranger than the king killer of Earth 55, the many minds of Burial.
Oh, man.
You guys talking about BA? He's so fast.
Oh, what just happened to him?
I think another set of Wells particles just took over his mind.
HR Wells, how you guys doing? Yeah, so this is simple. We just get all the Welleses out of BA into the futon sphere.
It's a fusion sphere. Can you stop? Can you stop drumming?
Huh?
Can you stop? Okay. The drumming is so annoying.
Do you hear the drums? They are coming. It is I, Wells the Grey.
Wells are great.
So Wizard Wells?
Oh, this is all my fault.
Oh my god, do you know Gandalf?
But then Barry fucking, like, goes into a coma for a little bit, and they're like, oh shit, like, how are we gonna do this? The only thing keeping Barry alive is the Speed Force, so when his speed runs out, he's gonna die. So then, like, Nash feels all bad because he technically lied to everyone. Like I said, there's a subplot with Top and Cecile, and it turns out Top's only power is not vertigo. She can kind of just, like, throw a ton of emotions at people. And, like, she just kind of, like, attacks Cecile, even though Cecile's like, hey, I'm here to help you. And she's like, I think the hell not. This episode is already shit, so we might as well just make it worse. What do we got to lose? I just noticed
all
also...
the Wells, apparently.
Yeah, and then there's, like, Iris subplot where she's, like, being, like, chased around by her, like, evil doppelganger who's wearing, like, the costumes from, like, previous seasons. And then Cecile actually, like, grows a pair and, like, attacks Top with her new powers. Because apparently Cecile can also just throw bad emotions at people now. Top tells her that there's a plane filled with all this tech that's gonna land, but she put a bomb on it. I don't know why, because villains just put bombs on things in superhero shows. So they're like, fuck, we got to get this bomb off. The Flash isn't fast enough right now, and also he's currently Harry Wells, and he's, like, doing, like, a one-on-one with Nash.
I ask myself, why? Why am I the one left standing?
So who should have gotten the slot? One of us bozos.
So Nash is like, okay, fine, I guess I'll sacrifice myself for the greater good. Okay, I don't want to, like, joke about this because I actually did cry. I mean, I want to joke about it because it was dumb. Nash decides to just sacrifice himself. He's putting, like, he's being, like, the organic barrier. If that's not sad enough, just, like, Nash dying, the three Wells, they talk through him.
Hey, B.A. How's it going? He's so fast. Wow. Yeah, don't be upset. This is not goodbye. It's just till our next communion. Not great, our current situation, huh? But it will be. Tu seras toujours mon ami. Came to your stupid Earth with his good burgers. I was a broken man, lost, angry, blah, 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 and you showed me how to be a better person. And I'll always be grateful for our friendship. Now, run. Barry. Run.
And he dies. That's why I wrote that on the whiteboard. So I'm assuming we're not gonna have any more Tom Cavanaugh for the rest of the season. Barry gets his speed back, he gets rid of the bomb, but Nash is dead. Barry's like, yeah, well, I guess I have to tell people that he's dead. And he says this one line that's like, it kind of makes me thinking.
Cisco's gonna want to come back from his trip. Terry was like a father to him.
And it just kind of fucking broke me. I know it, like, doesn't matter, like, but if you, like, watch The Flash, which I'm assuming you do because you're watching this video, just every Wells that, like, shows up for the seasons has, like, a unique relationship with Cisco. And to, like, not have Cisco in an episode where all the Welleses die is just, like, a spit in the face. Because he kind of, like, does these goodbyes to Barry, but none of them were ever really close with Barry. And I don't know, maybe I'm just, like, projecting because, like, I just wanted Cisco to be in this episode so bad. I'm just so angry. And it's only the first episode. Maybe they had to do it because, like, Tom Cavanaugh is going off to, like, better things. Which, good for him if that's the case. This is, like, a really weird season to purposely kill him off without, like, just being like, alright, Tom, your time's up. Oh, there's one more thing. So Eva finally watches the video that her husband left her. And it turns out she actually died during the particle accelerator. So she might be the evil mirror remnant. And that's all. That's the only other thing that happened. She, like, looks in the mirror and it, like, the reflection is Goatee Spock from Mirror Mirror. And she's like, oh, shit. I don't think I'm going to do something for the second episode. Unless, like, this blows up and I become famous overnight. Which isn't going to happen. I just wanted to complain about the first episode of Season 7 because I knew it was going to be bad. Thank you for watching. Subscribe.